Welcome back to Perry County Whitetails. Another beautiful evening along the river here in beautiful Perry County. Tonight we're going to be doing our 6-month review of the NICS Builder Pros on the HNW last. These boots have seen 6 months of wear, and I'm going to go over a couple things about these boots, what you can expect if you are going to buy a pair of Pacific Northwest NICS Builder Pros. Straight ahead. As you can see from some of the pictures that I just rolled across the screen, these boots have had a absolutely remarkable transformation take place in the last 6 months from when they were brand new. They've got all sorts of leather patina. They look well worn, but they are broken in perfectly to my feet, and they are super comfortable. I have ceased to wear sneakers. I have a pair of sneakers I don't wear anymore. If I'm going out doing something, I always grab my NICS boots. When you squeeze it there like that, it squeaks. But luckily, when you walk, it does not, if you can believe that. There are no squeaks, no squirks, no quirks about these boots when you're walking in them. They are, I will tell you, a very heavy boot because there are many layers of leather, full grain, 7 to 8 ounce work leather on these boots. So they are not a light boot. However, once you get them on your feet for a couple weeks, I don't even notice the weight on them, to be honest with you. So let's go over a few things that I absolutely love about these boots, and a few things that absolutely irritated the fire out of me about these boots. Number one, what I love about these boots is they are super comfortable. I heard horror stories before I purchased my first pair of Pacific Northwest boots, and that they were a terrible break-in. Your feet were gonna hate you for a month at least. It was gonna be miserable, all those things, and none of them were true about this boot. The only thing I had is I had some pain along my right outer toe. This one here would go numb. I didn't really have pain, but it would just go numb in the first 3 weeks of wearing the boot. I also had a little bit of pain right in here until the tongue got completely formed, and as you can see, you see how that's folded? Well, until that all got squished down to where it was broken in and bending where it was supposed to be bending when you walked, that was a little bit uncomfortable. Other than that, I really didn't have any pain in these boots. Number two thing that I love about these boots, after 3 weeks of wear, my knees absolutely stopped hurting. The bottoms of my feet stopped hurting. My back stopped hurting, and even my shoulder, if you can believe that. But I don't know what it is about the footbed on these boots. You probably can't see in there, so this is kind of pointless. There it is. That footbed is wonderful. And when I say wonderful, I mean wonderful. I mentioned in a few of my earlier videos, let's see if we can get this one to work. See that little dimple sticking up? Work, where you at? There's a little dimple sticking up right in the heel of this one and about mid-arch, and I was wondering whether that was going to cause any pain here in my left boot. I don't know if my foot just formed to it or what, but it caused absolutely zero issues, zero pain. I can't really tell that that's even there. So number 2 is the footbed on these boots. Your foot is on a solid piece of leather, and the more you wear it, the more it conforms to your foot. So the more comfortable it becomes. Most boots, they feel really comfortable right off the bat because they got a layer of foam or memory foam or something in them. So they form to your foot immediately and they're like, wow, these are comfortable. But then the more you wear them, the foam wears out and the more uncomfortable your foot becomes. With these boots, the more I have worn them, the more comfortable they have become. And the footbed is just, when I put these on in the morning, it is like putting my foot into a mold, literally. And I've heard people say that on reviews for Nick's boots. I thought, ow, they're just trying to sell Nick's boots. But I am not trying to sell a Nick's boot. I am just simply relating my experience with a Nick's boot. And it literally is like putting my foot into a mold every morning with these boots. Now, this leather, 7 to 8 ounce thick, full grain cowhide work leather. It's smooth up here, it's rough out down here. This leather, it also has on the inside of the what's this part called? The front part. On the inside of here, it also has another layer of lighter leather sewn on the inside as a leather lining. So this part of your boot is really thick leather. I mean, really thick. And as such, it takes a long time for water to penetrate that. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you how long it took. It took until well, I gotta go back and look at my YouTube shorts. I'll be right back. Okay, so February 13th, I uploaded this video of me sloshing through the melting snow. I wore them from October 1st every day to work until February 13th. Snow, rain, sleet, everything. And it was not until February 13th that I had water soak the entire way through this leather. It got damp on the outside, but my foot never got wet on the inside wearing these boots till February 13th. We had a substantial snow. I don't know if it was 6 or 8 inches, and then it warmed rapidly and it rained, and it was just water and snow laying everywhere. For I think it was 3 straight days after it snowed, it rained. On the second day of those 3 days of rain, these things became fully saturated with water. And when I say fully saturated, I mean they were fully saturated a clear way through the leather midsole. My foot was completely soaked. They were completely soaked the whole way up around here. I mean, every part of them was wet. Now, I'm gonna say this is a con on them, but it's not really. And so once they got wet, this is what I'm gonna say is the con on these boots. Once they got wet, it took forever for them to fully dry. And the reason being is I did not have a backup pair of boots. I had to keep wearing these boots every day. So Tuesday they became completely saturated. I wore them Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, completely soaked. The following Monday they were still damp, and I was leaving them at the top of our staircase. There's the heat from our downstairs rises. There's a warm spot right there. I was just leaving them in a warm spot. I wasn't blowing air on them or anything. But so I wore them dry, which I can tell you was miserable. Those 3 days of wearing completely saturated Nick's boots were miserable. But when I came out the other side the following week, these boots had molded to my foot in a way that I cannot even describe, is what I was trying to tell you. It feels like you're putting your foot into a mold. And that is how they dried, because I wore them dry around my foot. And I believe that those 3 days, I mean, I believe I would eventually have gotten there, but those 3 days of wearing absolutely saturated boots every day, 8 to 10 hour days, is what took these boots from good boots to I don't want to wear anything else boots. So if you want to call that a con, I guess that's a con, but it ended up, it took these boots to the next level. As far as the Patina Thunderdome, which I was entered in, I took, I believe, 7 photos every month from October 1st through April 1st and submitted them on an online app called the Patina Project. These were entered in the Work Dome that was sponsored by Nick's, the people who make these boots. And the results of that are to be posted on Wednesday. I'm recording this on Monday evening. The results to the Thunderdome are to be posted on Wednesday. First prize is $5,000, so I am sure that I will be cashing a check from Nick's Boots in the amount of $5,000. I mean, look at them things. I kept showing them to my kids and said, don't they look like $5,000 boots? But they didn't really agree with me. Anyway, they have aged, I think, really nicely. I conditioned them once and completely saturated them with the Nick's boot grease, which I believe is Obanoff's. So they've been conditioned once. They're looking now like you can notice back here on the heel counter, they're starting to burnish off some, starting to get some smooth spots. I think I might condition them again here before we get fully into summer to supple them back up a little bit. I did notice when I did condition these before, and if you didn't see that video, I'll leave a link up here in the corner. They really suppled up whenever I put that boot grease on them. I mean, they became, it's almost unbelievable how thick the leather is and how soft they became. But it was really nice. Okay, the only thing I'm somewhat disappointed in is this this Vibram sole seems to be wearing a little bit faster than I thought it would. There's still plenty of meat left on there, but it is, I mean, it is wearing a little faster than I thought it would. Winding up the hose, I wore off a little section right here. So those are just wear and tear things. I did have some separation. I'm sure you can see that right there. Some separation between the rubber and the leather midsole. But that is sewed down in here, and I don't think that's anything to be worried about. I don't know if that means that I need to condition them more often or what that means. I really don't know. These are sized in an 11 double F, which I went on and used Nick's sizing guide when I did that. They are an 11 double F. I have a very wide foot. With wool socks, I wore merino wool work socks with these. They fit perfect. I did notice with a lighter sock on, just a cotton sock, that my foot is a little bit sloppy in here. The first couple months I did have a good bit of heel lift, So when I was walking, my heel would come up just a little bit. Not enough to give me a blister or a hot spot. I didn't have any of that, but just a little bit in there. But the longer I wore them, that went away, and it's non-existent now. So the only other con I can think of is the price. But you really do get what you pay for with these boots. I paid $565 for this pair of boots. It's been 6 months and the leather is in great shape. There's no cracks. There are no chafe spots that look like they're gonna wear through. There's no damage that I can see, no cuts. This rough out really takes a lot of abrasion. The sole is still holding up decent, but even if the sole were to go, these are resolable, so I could have this removed. I could get this sole again. I could get a Red X sole, which is a fire resistant sole. I could get a Honey Vibram sole. There's a lot of options for this boot if you don't like the sole that you originally get on it once you wear it out. I mean, there's a lot of options that Nick's offers, and if you have a cobbler in your area, I'm sure that he could work on these boots with no problem. So the price, it's a big pill to swallow. I understand that. Believe me, I understand that. When I put out the money for these boots, I was I was really hoping they were what everybody said they were, because of the price. A pair of Red Wings that I was buying, I had worn the same type of boot pretty much all during my career hauling and delivering diesel fuel and heating oil. There was a certain model number of the Red Wing that I used in the beginning, back in 2009, 10, 11, 12. Those years I could get a year out of a pair of Red Wings, and that was about it. Towards the end there, I was getting 7 months. Now think about it, 7 months of wear, and the sole was shot. This corner was worn through, and it was generally cracking across the top. In 7 months, I was getting that much damage on a Red Wing boot, and I was paying $260 a pair. When you multiply that out, I'm not going to try to do math because I am obviously from Perry County, but I might put some numbers right around here on the screen. If you multiply that out, it takes somewhere around 1.5 years to equal that with these. If I get 2 years out of these boots, I have gotten way further than any Red Wing I have ever purchased. So there we go. Nick's Builder Pros. Are they worth it? I say yes. I say yes. I say they're worth it. If I don't get 2 years out of them, they are worth it for just the fact that they are the most comfortable shoe that I own, and they support my joints in a way that I have never had another shoe support them. And when you're 60 pounds overweight like I am, you need all the support you can get.